Everyone dreams of becoming better, richer, healthier, or more disciplined. Yet most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they misunderstand how change truly works. Atomic Habits by James Clear breaks the illusion that transformation is about massive effort. Real growth, he says, happens through small, consistent actions that compound invisibly over time. The difference between success and failure often comes down to who mastered the smallest behaviors, the atomic building blocks of lasting change. Welcome to Filmbook, where powerful ideas meet real-life science. In this video, we'll explore atomic habits through the lens of neuroscience, psychology, and behavioral design. You'll learn why tiny habits can reshape your brain, how systems outperform motivation, and how invisible patterns silently determine your success or failure. These aren't theories, they're laws of human behavior, proven by science and perfected through practice. Let's uncover how to reprogram your daily life at the atomic level. 1. The power of small improvements, the compound effect of behavior. James Clear begins with a deceptively simple truth. Small improvements create massive outcomes. Improving just 1% every day might seem insignificant, but through the mathematics of compound growth, it multiplies exponentially. Neuroscientists call this synaptic reinforcement. Each repetition strengthens neural connections, making the behavior more automatic. The brain thrives on patterns, not intentions. Those who focus on systems instead of goals trigger consistent dopamine feedback, rewarding progress instead of perfection. Real change isn't a revolution, it's evolution, one micro-decision at a time. The beauty of compounding is that it works both ways. Just as positive habits multiply success, negative habits silently accumulate failure. Missing one workout or ignoring one opportunity doesn't ruin you, but repeated neglect builds decline. Habits are neutral engines. They don't care what you feed them. Success comes from consistently investing small actions into the right direction. Every choice is a vote for the future version of you. That's the essence of atomic growth. 2. Identity over goals. Becoming instead of achieving. Clear challenges the traditional focus on goal setting. He argues that outcomes are lagging indicators of habits, while habits are reflections of identity. The brain seeks consistency between what it believes and what it does, a concept psychologists call cognitive alignment. Instead of asking, "What do I want to achieve?" ask, "Who do I want to become?" By shifting focus from performance to identity, you remove pressure and gain purpose. True change is built from within, not imposed from outside. Identity-based habits reshape behavior from the inside out. When you identify as a healthy person, eating well feels natural. When you believe you're a disciplined worker, procrastination fades. This isn't self-help talk. It's neuroscience. The brain constantly updates its self-schema, the mental model of who you are. Every repetition of a habit is a vote for that identity. Change your narrative, and your brain rewires to support it. You don't chase transformation, you embody it. 3. The habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Every habit, good or bad, follows a predictable pattern known as the habit loop. Cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue triggers the brain, the craving creates motivation, the response is the behavior, and the reward reinforces the loop. The real insight? Dopamine, the brain's motivation chemical, spikes not during reward, but in anticipation of it. This means desire, not pleasure, drives repetition. Understanding this mechanism gives you control over your behavior instead of being controlled by it. By mastering the loop, you can reverse engineer your habits. To build new ones, make cues clear and rewards satisfying. To break bad ones, remove triggers and disrupt craving patterns. Behavioral scientists call this operant conditioning. Your environment, your routines, and your emotions are constantly programming you. The goal isn't to fight the loop, it's to redesign it. The most disciplined people aren't stronger. They've simply automated better loops. Wherefore, the first law, Make it obvious. The first law of habit formation is visibility. What you see, you do. Humans are visual creatures, and our brains prioritize immediate cues. Clear calls this environmental design, shaping surroundings to make desired actions obvious and frictionless. Want to practice guitar? Keep it in the middle of the room. Want to drink more water? Put a bottle on your desk. The brain doesn't respond to logic, it responds to triggers. Make good habits visible, and your actions will follow. The reason this works is because willpower is finite, but design is permanent. The visual cortex acts faster than conscious reasoning. That's why supermarkets place candy at checkout and phones steal attention. Cues rule behavior. To reclaim control, reverse engineer your surroundings. Every object, sound, or place either supports or sabotages your goals. The environment is the invisible hand guiding your habits. Control it, and you control yourself. 5. The second law, make it attractive. Desire is the engine of action. The second law says that to form a habit, it must feel appealing. In neuroscience, this is linked to dopamine bundling, associating a new behavior with an existing pleasure. For example, only watch your favorite show while exercising, or drink your favorite coffee while journaling. You're not manipulating yourself, you're conditioning your brain to crave improvement. Pleasure, when properly aligned, can train discipline instead of destroying it. This principle works because emotion drives memory. The brain doesn't remember neutral experiences, it remembers rewarding ones. By linking positive emotion to productive behavior, you hijack your own reward system. Motivation then becomes self-sustaining. Good habits grow naturally, while bad ones lose their grip. Make your progress feel enjoyable, and your brain will crave consistency. Pleasure is not the enemy of success. It's its greatest ally when used consciously. 6. The third law, make it easy. Complexity kills consistency. The third law of habit formation is about reducing friction. The fewer steps between you and a desired action, the more likely it becomes automatic. Behavioral scientists call this activation energy. Every decision requires effort, and the easier it is to start, the higher the success rate. Start small. 1 page, 1 rep, 1 call. Progress is momentum, not magnitude. Success isn't about intensity, it's about accessibility. 7. The fourth law, make it satisfying. The final law is reinforcement. The human brain repeats what feels good and avoids what doesn't. This is called reinforcement learning. But here's the trick. The reward must be immediate. Our brains evolved to favor instant gratification, so delayed rewards rarely trigger motivation. The solution? Create immediate satisfaction within long-term goals. Track your habits visually, celebrate small wins, and reward consistency itself. You're not rewarding ego, you're rewarding neural wiring. The best habits feel intrinsically rewarding. That's why progress tracking works. It turns abstract effort into visible success. Every checkmark, every streak, every progress bar releases dopamine. It's not childish, it's biological. By gamifying discipline, you build sustainability. The more satisfying consistency feels, the stronger it becomes. Small celebrations multiply momentum. That's why Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. 8. Breaking bad habits. The inversion principle. If good habits are built by making them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, bad habits are destroyed by reversing those laws. Make them invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. This is cognitive behavior therapy in action. Reduce exposure to triggers, associate pain with indulgence, and make the path to temptation harder to reach. The brain always seeks the path of least resistance. Raise that resistance. Friction is your friend when fighting bad habits. One practical method is habit replacement. The brain doesn't erase patterns, it overwrites them. Replace smoking with deep breathing, doom scrolling with reading, junk food with water. Every substitution weakens the old neural loop and strengthens a new one. Neuroscientists call this synaptic competition. You can't delete habits, but you can starve them of energy. As Clear says, success isn't about resisting temptation. It's about redesigning the system so temptation never appears. 9. The Goldilocks Rule. Staying in the zone. James Clear introduces the Goldilocks Rule, the principle that humans stay motivated when facing challenges that are not too hard, not too easy, but just right. This balance triggers flow state, where the brain operates at peak focus. When you're slightly stretched beyond comfort, dopamine and attention spike. Too easy leads to boredom, too hard to anxiety. The key to consistency is balance, a sustainable level of difficulty that maintains engagement. This explains why successful people don't chase intensity. They chase rhythm. Marathon runners, musicians, and entrepreneurs all rely on progressive overload. Tiny, manageable increases that keep them sharp without burnout. The Goldilocks zone keeps the brain learning without fear. Success isn't about heroism, it's about harmony. The most productive people don't fight their biology, they flow with it. Challenge yourself, but never crush yourself. 10. The role of environment, designing for discipline. Clear's final lesson ties everything together. Your environment is the invisible architect of behavior. Willpower fades, but context endures. Behavioral scientists estimate that nearly 90% of daily choices are automatic responses to surroundings. That means your productivity, fitness, and focus depend less on willpower and more on design. Shape your environment, and you shape your destiny. Remove friction for good habits, increase friction for bad ones, and success becomes inevitable. This concept redefines motivation. You don't need to force better behavior. You need to make it obvious, easy, and rewarding. Clean spaces create mental clarity. Visible reminders keep goals active. Simplicity removes resistance. As Clear puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Design those systems, and you'll never need motivation again. The environment becomes your silent mentor. In conclusion, Atomic Habits is not a self-help book. It's a behavioral manual. It proves that real transformation isn't emotional, it's mechanical. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your life. If you control them, you control your future. Change doesn't require genius, it requires repetition. The smallest improvements, performed consistently, create irreversible growth. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity determines your destiny. Don't wait for motivation, build systems. Don't chase transformation, create structure. The secret to success was never hidden. It was simply too small for most people to notice.